He also found this one. Apparently, a lot of millennials are putting their moms and dads in a tough spot, trying to figure out how to get their adult kids out of the house.
Right, so months can easily turn into years, right? Jeff, you're here with advice. You're going to give parents advice on how to get things moving.
I'm all ears, pal.
Well, the thing is, Dan, most parents wouldn't, they're okay with the idea of kids moving back home, right? As long as it's not a long-term deal.
Somewhat okay, yes.
But what does long-term deal mean? Is that 2 years, 5 years, 10 years? What's the limit? That's the question.
All of the above.
You know, your kids can live at home, I think, up to 6 months. 6 months is a great mark to say, you know, now it's been too long.
Okay, 6 months. 6 months, that's right. Now, according to a Pew Research study, 36% of those ages 18 to 31, a record total of 21.6 million millennials lived in their parents' home in 2012. Rachel Cruz, author of Smart Money, Smart Kids, recommends establishing clear guidelines and setting expectations in writing. She says parents should write up a contract, have a specific move-out date in writing, and some other expectations that you have. It seems formal, but she says when it's in writing, it's going to stick more than if it's just an idea that you guys talk about every now and then. She says parents need to get a reverse curfew. Not sure if you've heard of this one, Dan, reverse curfew. It means you kick them out of the house from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. for them to go and apply for jobs, because a lot of these adult children don't have jobs, they're not making an income. It's a way to make sure that they aren't just sitting around playing PlayStation or messing around on Tinder. Her third point is set realistic goals. College grads should be looking for a job, not just a dream job. A lot of these kids need to understand they can't have these huge expectations for success when they graduate college. They just need to find something so they can move out of the house, apparently during that 6-month time frame. She also says it's important to over-communicate. When you over-communicate your intentions, that is how you avoid hurting their feelings. You're basically saying, look, we love you, we support you, but we want to see you succeed. And take pride in standing up on your own and finding your own place.
Well, I want to ask you, Dan, because I hear this from other parents. One of the most disappointing things is they come back home and they forget to help out around the house, clean up after yourself. Hey, maybe contribute to the groceries, right? It's almost like complete freeloading.
Well, that's why it needs to be written in that contract.
As opposed to the appreciation, right?
Yeah,
even when they come home from college, right?
That happens, and that's disappointing. But there's a lot of different levels of this. It's one thing if they come home to live while they look for a job.
Right.
I know a lot of people who have their kids come home after they get a job so they can save up money. And in that case, it's like, well, either pay me now or pay me later. And by letting them save up that money, then you may not have to give them a big chunk for a down payment on a house.
Right.
But what was the story you just read before that? It's about waiting for marriage because they don't have the money for it, right? So maybe that's one of the reasons they want to move home while they have a job, is to save up for big expenses like that.
Well, the wedding I just went to, my nephew, he's a college grad. He's worked for Gannett back east. He's a smart kid. His wife's smart, college grad from UC San Diego.
Right, how
they
old?
just got back, 26, and they just got back from their honeymoon, and they're going to live with my brother and his wife for 6 months.
Wow.
So they can save up some money.
There you go.
In the Bay Area. Well, if you're in California, you got to help them because you can't afford a house.
I think it's what you do. If you help out around the house. I moved back home when I was 27, in between jobs. Whew.
That's tough.
It was about 6 months, 6 to 8 months, and I was back out.
Keep that door open, Dan. You never know when they're
Well, we're going to toss it to an interesting guy in a minute and find out what he thinks, because his little girl's not even a year yet.
Oh boy, he has some time.
Thank you very much, Jeff.